Well, there's no victory music today, but that doesn't mean there wasn't a win. Welcome in to another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montia, occasionally a man who would kind of rather be at the pool, but the pool is too loud, so I'm in here at the sports book. But I'm also thrilled to see the Diamondbacks win today. I'm also thrilled to be joined by the one and only Damon Dog. Damon, thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to support a very good baseball team in the Arizona Diamondbacks. They win today, 6-4. What are your thoughts, buddy?
They certainly do. Nice little early morning action. Easy to get the it always feels good to get the W out of the day early, and then you can go about the rest of your day when like the Diamondbacks play on the East Coast. But feeling good, Derek, except for the fact that the Diamondbacks are the fourth best team in baseball according to win percentage and are fourth in their own division in the process.
It's the NL West for a reason, Damon.
Yeah.
It's the NL West. But like you said, they improved to 12-7, winning today. Before we move on, I got to remind you that this show is brought to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. Of course, go download that Bet365 app right now. Use our code of PHNX365 when you sign up. You'll get yourself some bonus bets. And on the other app over there on Game Time, you'll get $20 off using code PHNX on your first purchase. Diamondbacks created chaos today. That was a big part of the win. Damon, can we maybe get some of that Cuban coffee that they were drinking brought over to the Chase Field clubhouse? Because these guys were ready to run today. Corbin Carroll was ready to run. And this looked like the Diamondbacks of old that we really loved that created that chaos.
Yeah, it's a good point. I had Cuban coffee once when we went out to Miami for our PHNX Cardinals trip, and it genuinely was life-changing. Some of the best stuff that I've ever drank in my life. So if you haven't tried that, I'm certain that was what propelled them to complete the S word in this one, because obviously
we can say it. We can say sweep. It's fine. Yeah, they did it. It's over now.
Am I allowed? Is this a safe space?
No, not really. Still, they'll blame you for them not getting the next one if you say it now. But definitely, it was great to see them get that S word.
Yeah, it certainly was. And as you mentioned, like Corbin Carroll starting things off, just the way that only the 2023 Diamondbacks could applaud, right? Where he strikes out, but he's safe at first, steals second, steals third, and then who do you have? The best situational hitter in baseball, ready to just get a pitch low in the zone and just crank it up into right field. Perdomo gets the boys started with a sac fly, and then Pavin Smith, who's apparently Aaron Judge, from the left side of the plate, all of a sudden hits a bomb, and the Diamondbacks get off on the right foot.
He always has been. There was never a time when he wasn't Aaron Judge from the left side of the plate. But yeah, you're right. Corbin Carroll extends his on-base streak to 19 games. In the weirdest, wildest way possible there, reaching base after striking out on a wild pitch, and then, like you said, stealing second and third. Pavin, man, flexing that power for sure. What is it? It's back-to-back games for Pavin. We have back-to-back-to-back games now for Josh Naylor, and the offense really seems to be coming alive, at least in Miami. I don't want to get crazy about the home runs because I don't feel like maybe a lot of these home runs would necessarily be home runs in a lot of ballparks, but I'm fine with it. Pavin, at least his home run, we know was a home run at Chase Field, and his home run is our Sanderson Ford deep drive of the game in this one. Really early on, Corbin Carroll getting that first run, and Pavin adding on here in the inning. This was a solo home run from him in the first inning, his third of the year. And again, he adds on with an RBI double in the third inning. And Pavin Smith continues to be one of the Diamondbacks' best hitters this season. And that's not hyperbole. That's not something we're saying just to appease people that watch this show that very much love Pavin Smith. Pavin Smith is hitting 404, Damon, with a 1.236 OPS. Make it make sense, because I sure can't.
The craziest part about it, Derek, is that not only is he hitting that well, and not only is his OPS in the 1.2 range, but he's also just like, he's cranking the baseball. That first inning home run was, it was a line drive. It scraped the fence, but he hit it hard as hell. And then the second, the double that he hits, Derek, like that pitch is 6 inches off the plate.
Yeah.
And Pavin Smith, it might have been a hit and run situation because Pavin does generally like have a pretty good eye. So he typically lays off of, I would imagine, pitches that are that far out of the zone.
Yeah.
And it you know, with the runner in motion, I think it was probably a hit and run, but he did exactly what he needed to, which is poke it when it's a hit and run and get good contact on it. And he hits a line drive down the third baseline. To me, you know, that second swing was just like indicative of just like Pavin is just hot right now. And the ball clearly looks like like a beach ball. And I mean, this guy he's stepping up. You have both of the players that you probably needed to, in terms of Perdomo hitting second in the lineup and, Pavin hitting third in the lineup right now that are stepping up when you need them most with Ketel Marte out. And the Diamondbacks, they really haven't taken much of a step back at all with their best player hurt, which is, certainly a good thing, especially in this division, needing to keep pace this early in the season.
Well, and I mean, I don't even know if you can really necessarily say that Ketel Marte is the best player on this team right now with the way Corbin Carroll is performing, with the way Pavin is hitting, even though Ketel is very, we know what Ketel is, right? But like, he wasn't putting up these offensive numbers that we're seeing from these guys when he was healthy. And right now, I mean, in his absence, this team has done a great job of stepping up. I mean, Pavin, he's done a great job defensively over at first base, right? Like, I haven't seen much out of Pavin that would suggest that he doesn't belong over there. Josh Naylor's made some solid defensive plays. I don't think, Pavin didn't have to do too much, but overall, I mean, the big question for a lot of Diamondbacks fans is like, what are the Diamondbacks going to do at first base beyond this season once Josh Naylor potentially, most likely, moves on because this is, his last year of this contract? I mean, I don't know. We can cross that bridge when we get there, and I know a lot of people want to see, like, they want to know who the next guy from, like, the minor league system or Reno is that's coming up. But so far, I think Pavin's done a fine job over there at first base, and I mean, maybe Pavin is the answer over there at first base long term. I don't really know, but Eduardo Perdomo, like you said, he continues to deliver this season. Sack fly RBI in the first. He walks and scores on Pavin's RBI double there in the third inning, and then he has an RBI single in the fourth that scores Carroll. He just continues to contribute, and he continues to do things for this team, and he always has productive at bats. He was on Steve Zinsmeister's podcast, by the way, and apparently he told Steve that he really doesn't like hitting second or first. He would rather be back down in the 9-hole where Jerry P belongs. And between that and the fact that the thing he missed most about baseball was being down 0-2 in the count, is there more of a baseball guy than Geraldo Perdomo in the world? I challenge you to find one.
There certainly isn't, Derek. I don't even think that that's debatable at this point. The 0-2 in the count thing, of course, that's one thing, but being relishing that role of being the later leadoff guy, that's just so Jerry. And God, is he playing good baseball right now? And it was just like, Derek, I looked at Jerry's stat line. I think it was in like the 5th inning or so. Because I was like, yeah, he's having a pretty good game. And what did it say, Derek? It said 1 for 1, a walk,
with walk, 2 RBI,
fly. And I was just like, this
scored.
guy he's unbelievable. He does it every game. All he does is walk, situational hit, and be the best leader in baseball. Geraldo Perdomo, there's a reason I bought a jersey yesterday, Derek, of him. I will be. Did you see this? I put this in the Discord. You might have been traveling, getting ready for your trip.
I've been very busy in the last 24 hours for sure, but that's fantastic news. I knew you would come around and eventually get a Perdomo jersey.
Yes,
I felt it in my bones.
I spent the big ticket. I went to the Dbacks store, got them printed on. I walked up with my jersey to the counter and I said, "Why don't you put a Perdomo on this bad boy for me?" And they said, "Don't worry, Damon. We already got the number 2 hot press. We're getting it ready to go. We recognized you the second you walked in and knew what you wanted." So
we were like, "Damon's here." We were waiting for this moment.
I'll be wearing my Jerry jersey. I'm gonna wear it tomorrow on our post-game show, Derek. Pumped.
Let's go. Speaking of other guys that have been really good, Josh Naylor continues to be excellent for this team. He added a leadoff solo home run in the 5th. That was his 4th of the season. He now, like I said earlier, has back-to-back home runs. He homered in every game of the series. And again, like, when you look at the lineup and you look at the 1 through 4 hitters, those are the guys that are winning baseball games for this team right now. Corbin Carroll, 321 average, a 1.065 OPS. Perdomo, a 317 average, a 0.919 OPS, a 404 batting average for Pavin Smith, and Josh Naylor, a 324 batting average with a 979 OPS. I think Groundhog Mama wants me to talk the S word, the other S word, about the rest of the guys, and yeah, they deserve it. Lourdes Gurriel today, 0 for 5. Gino Suarez, 0 for 4 today with a walk. Both of those guys are now hitting below 150 this season. I think when we saw Gino come out hot, there was a lot of excitement. He had a good spring. He comes out hot. He's being compared to Aaron Judge when Pavin Smith should have been the one, obviously, compared to Aaron Judge. But he cooled off fast, and right now Gino is in a very similar slump that we saw from him to start the 2024 season. I said this before, but like the only thing that keeps me going when it comes to knowing Gino is that he's going to get out of it, right? And like what we saw out of him in the second half last year makes you continue to be patient with him regardless of how bad his slump currently is.
Yeah, I feel the same way as you, Derek. I think that me and you, in terms of this fan base, were two of the people that were, very primarily holding on, fighting the good fight for our man Gino last year.
We held the line, Damon. We held the line.
You never heard your boys here DFAing Gino Suarez last year like a lot of this fan base was, and I kind of feel similarly right now. He carried in the first portion of like the first 2 series of this year, right? He was player of the week, very earned, and then he hits his slump again. There's going to be another portion of this season where Gino picks it up and where he's unbelievable, and you're like, is this the best hitter in baseball right now? What I'm a little bit more concerned
Lourdes
about,
too, by the way. Lourdes is going to have that stretch. It's probably not going to be as good as Gino's, but Lourdes will come out and be the best player in baseball for 2 weeks suddenly out of nowhere.
Yeah. What I'm most concerned about with Gino, though, Derek, is the fielding, to be honest with you. 3 errors now on the season, which he's just been so steady at third base for his majority of his career. 3 errors this early is kind of a lot. And just the defense in general with this team is a little bit concerning. They've been playing sloppy baseball on that side of the field for the entirety of the season, which is really weird for a Torey Lovullo team. So that's something that I'm monitoring very closely.
Tim Tawa had an error today. Gino had an error today. We very much miss Ketel Marte and the stability that he brings over there, right? People have had their issues with Hampson. Obviously, Tawa wasn't perfect today. I still feel like Tawa has earned playing time over Hampson, but again, it's just not the Diamondbacks defense that we're used to seeing. Luckily, their offense right now has been really good, and it's been able to kind of carry them to victories. In fact, the Diamondbacks offense is one of the best in baseball. They are currently 5th in MLB in scoring at 5.16 runs per game. They have a matchup here with the Cubs, who are a little bit higher than them in this lineup or in that aspect. But it's like you said, it's also really frustrating that the Diamondbacks now sit at 12-7. They have the 4th best record in Major League Baseball, and they're still 4th in their division. I don't want to scoreboard watch this early. I don't really care that much, but it's like, I guess maybe for fans and maybe even for the players, like it feels good to have that little bit of validation that you're doing well, and you can look up at the standings and see that you're either leading your division or close to the top. And right now for the Diamondbacks, that's not the case in this division.
No, I'm with you. Like scoreboard watching, 20 games into the year in a baseball season is ridiculous, but they've kind of left us no choice. Like,
because it's so absurd.
Having the 4th best record and being in 4th place is so crazy. I want to know how many times something similar like this has happened in baseball. If this has been like the first time, it'd be interesting to see. But
I'm sure early on it's happened before, especially with like the AL East, with how good they've been and such. But like 4 teams, like 4 teams is asking a bit much. And then you also have the worst team in baseball also in this division right now. So
and they're going to continue to be. They're going to continue to be because of this division. I was thinking about that yesterday, actually, Derek, where I was like, the poor Rockies have to play so many games against the 4 other teams in this division. Like they might White Sox it from last year. They really might.
They are kind of on pace for that, right? But like one of our White Sox brothers over from CHGO pointed out this factor. Like at least the White Sox are in a weak division, right?
Yeah.
As a White Sox fan, you could see the path to rebuilding and being competitive in your division because your division isn't that strong. What do the Rockies have to build towards? What do they? I mean, like again, this is no offense to them. They're a young team. They're trying to do things a certain way. A lot of Rockies fans are very upset with the ownership and management and the way that they are, not really adding to that team or doing anything to make them competitive in this NL West. But like, how much would they have to do in order to make that team competitive? To be fair, the Rockies generate a bunch of money, right? We've talked about their attendance numbers. This might be the first season where we're finally starting to see some sort of drop in the attendance numbers at Rockies games. And that's only because they are literally the worst team in baseball right now, right? So it's got to be a daunting, a daunting thing to think about, to be a part of that organization and to figure out how you can get out of the basement. Like the NL West or the NL West, it's this good by necessity, right? Like you either have a choice where you don't spend money and you kind of dwindle into mediocrity and you are basically out of it by May, like the Rockies are already out of it by the end of April, or you go out, you spend, and you do your best to try to be savvy and compete with the Dodgers. And I feel like at least that's what the Padres have done. The Padres have done a good job here. The Diamondbacks, they didn't do this just all with homegrown talent. They added a Corbin Burns. They added a Jordan Montgomery. They added a Eduardo Rodriguez. Like, they know what they're doing because they have to do it in order to compete with the Dodgers in this division, right? But what I'm more excited about, Damon, is the fact that here we are creating chaos once again. Sure, this is against a catcher that maybe even you could get a stolen base against, and that's no knock at you at all. I know of your baseball days. I saw your rookie card in the office the other day. But Diamondbacks reached 5+ stolen bases in a game for the first time in almost 2 years, a year and a half. August 6, 2023. They did it against the Twins. They had 8 stolen bases. But this is the first time in franchise history where Arizona had 5 or more stolen bases in their first 4 innings. So, again, they got it going early, and they knew that they could run on this catcher, this Rule 5 catcher for the Marlins, and it worked. I mean, this team definitely needed that boost today. This wasn't a blowout like, one of the games in the series. This one ended up coming down to being pretty close, and part of it was because, Eduardo Rodriguez, as good as he is, still can tend to give up runs. Part of it was the bad defense behind him, and a little smidge was maybe the bullpen not being as tight as we've seen it be. But regardless, again, I've said this before, good teams find a way to win, and the Diamondbacks did that again today.
Derek, I got to say, calling him a Rule 5 catcher, that felt kind of mean. That felt just a little bit nasty. Just
a little unnecessary?
Out of you.
I take it back.
He's a Major League Baseball player.
I know. I'm just
Rule 5 catcher.
There's whiskey in this team, and I'm not going to lie. So, it is what it is. But.
Throwing a little bit of shots. I get it, but it was nice to see the Diamondbacks, definitely get back to that kind of base running mentality that we've been missing for a little bit now. I know that the team is a lot more home run oriented now than it is stolen base oriented. That transition kind of got made last year. And it worked, right? Because you had the number 1 offense in baseball because of it. But if you can find somewhat of a middle ground where those guys that can run are giving you that base running ability, Corbin Carroll is out there creating chaos, and then you also have those home run hitters in full flux. That's the best version of this team, and that includes Gino and Lourdes not giving you nothing out there, but. It was great to see Corbin get, some of those steals today because people have been waiting for him. And hopefully he can just kind of continue that because the guy's playing at an MVP level. If the season ended today, I think he should be the pick for NL MVP. Obviously, we're a long ways out, but a way that he could even add to that is by upping these stolen base numbers, Derek. We saw it with Ronald Acuna a couple seasons ago. Like, the stolen base numbers kind of propelled him for that W for the MVP. And so it'd be great to see Corbin just kind of just tack on a little bit more.
Well, again, it's something that Geraldo Perdomo has done well here is walks, get on base. It doesn't really matter, right? Like the Diamondbacks just need more opportunities to score. They need to be better about using the assets they have. And one of the things that they have is speed on this team. And there's no reason to shy away from that. There's no reason that even if guys get caught on the base path to stop doing it, right? Fans might want that. Fans might get frustrated and be like, why? Stop trying to steal bases. Stealing bases, especially from a Diamondbacks franchise perspective, is a key to victory because it's going to cause the defense to make mistakes. It's going to cause a catcher behind the plate to make mistakes. It's going to cause the pitcher to make mistakes, and that's what it does for this team. The Cubs do this exceptionally well. Our guys from CHGO covered this, that one of the keys to the Cubs' success this year has been walks and stolen bases, and that is something that the Diamondbacks not only are very capable of, like you said, you got guys like Pavin Smith who have an amazing knowledge of the strike zone, an amazing ability to know when pitches are balls or strikes, right? But Perdomo setting a record, doing things with walks that no one's really done for this franchise before, and again, it's just about finding a way to win baseball games. Like you're right about the home run ball, but the home run ball we've seen can completely abandon you. It didn't do that for the Diamondbacks in this series. We're going to go over the numbers from this series here in a minute, but for sure, that the Diamondbacks, they can hit home runs, but I almost feel like finding other ways to win lead to the home runs. They lead to everything else. And again, a big part of that is just the basics, right? Getting those walks, getting on base, and stealing. But again, today was all about Pavin Smith. He is our king snake for today's game. Pavin Smith was 2 for 3 with 2 RBI, a double, a home run, and a walk. He does it all. He has a batting average above 400. And as some of you pointed out in the comments, we have to protect him from lefties, but so what? I don't care. I'll protect Pavin at all costs.
You face less lefties than righties, so I think that's a big factor. Like if you're on the strong side of the platoon, you play a lot more. And yeah, I mean, I understand what they're saying. Like his opportunities and his stats are going to look a lot better going up against only players that are good matchups for him. But
for sure.
That being said, like the Diamondbacks are a franchise that can't just go out and pay every position. If they could have, they would have re-signed Christian Walker. So having a guy like Pavin Smith on an arbitration contract where he's cheap and affordable, they have 2 more years where they can get him under arbitration. Like he's having a platoon side that's that strong is valuable to this team. So, all you can do is tip your cap to Pavin and say like, what a remarkable turnaround for him it's been the last couple of seasons, because I had 0 expectations for Pavin Smith after 2023, after 2022, you name it. And he's turned himself into a good Major League Baseball player. So I just got to tip my cap to him and say, I hope he keeps it going. And mostly I hope he keeps it going for the fans of this show who just would absolutely take a bullet for this guy.
They would take a bullet for him. And yeah, you're right. Like Pavin Smith's one of those guys that like you almost expected this to happen with another team, right? Like he kind of struggles with the Diamondbacks. He was a high draft pick, and then eventually he finds his way to some other team, and that's when he starts doing this, right? You brought up the wonderful Christian Dixon Walker, and no offense to him, there's no way for me to not be offensive here to him, though. Christian Walker is hitting 154 with 1 home run, 2 RBI, and 10 hits this season. So who would you rather have, Christian Walker or Pavin Smith and Josh Naylor? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But you'll have a little bit of time to talk about it. We're going to go to break. On the other side of this break, we're going to talk about Eduardo Rodriguez's day on the mound, what we do about this bullpen, and how good Jalen Beeks has been. All on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Of course, go check out Gila River Resorts and Casino. Damon won't be there for the NFL Cardinals draft party. I got to point that out because I've been advertising you for weeks and weeks and weeks, and every time I do, Shane yells at me from the office. But even though Damon won't be there, you should be there on April 24th. Join Bo, Johnny, and the Cardinals diehards at Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass in the Upper Deck Bar and Grill for an unforgettable NFL draft party and live show presented by Circle K and Gila Rivers. Your ticket gets you access to the PHNX live show and access to the Upper Deck Bar and Grill. An all-you-can-eat buffet from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Drink tickets for the 21 and over crowd. Raffle tickets for great giveaways. And, of course, our diehards get 20% off this event like they do all of our events. Of course, if you have not had a chance to check out Gila River Resorts and Casinos, I have no idea what you're waiting for. Obviously, I'm a big fan of places like this, and you should get out and check them out. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for more details. And also, if you're an Arizona sports fan, there's no better place to do your banking than with Desert Financial Credit Union. That's how they got me in. I wanted that sweet Suns card. It's the only place you can show your team spirit with the purchase using your exclusive debit cards branded with your favorite teams. But once I got in there, Desert Schools helped me not only with my finances, but they got me started on my home ownership journey. And that's because their team are financial experts that are committed to their members and community, offering financial solutions tailored to helping real people achieve their financial goals and dreams. So when you get a chance, check them out. If you can open a free checking account online today, you'll get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. Well, Damon, Eduardo Rodriguez, of course, we have had some inconsistency from him, but we've seen some really strong performances. We've also seen him go out there and strike out 12 guys in a game. Today was a little bit of both. He was really good, was dealing early. The 6 strikeouts he had in his first 2 innings were actually the most he's ever had in a start in his career. And, yeah, man, he threw a lot of four-seam fastballs and cutters today.
Yeah, Eduardo Rodriguez continues to be an enigma for me. I was talking with Kevin when I came into the office. Like, he doesn't make any sense to me at all. You just look at his stat line, right? And, as I pull it up here, this is great podcasting, but he gave up what? He gave up 1 earned run today. Obviously, the defense let him down a little bit. But he had, how many hits did he give up, Derek? It was
10.
Double digits, right?
10 hits today.
He gives up 10 hits. He strikes out 9. And for me, the crazy part is, are you getting swing and miss, or are people tagging you? Because Erod's doing both. Like, if you look at the top exit velocities, Derek, of this game, the Marlins had 10 of the top 15. So they were hitting the ball harder than the Diamondbacks were.
They really were.
If you look at their XBA, the Diamondbacks XBA was 127. The Marlins was 228. Obviously, it was 5 hits for the Diamondbacks to 13 for the Marlins. Like, it feels like the Marlins probably win this game 9 times out of 10 if they replay it. But the Diamondbacks were able to get the ball over the fence, which was the difference maker here. But Erod he lets a ton of players on base. I just feel that he's so inconsistent, to be honest with you. And I know that today isn't really necessarily the performance to be coming out against him and being kind of diminishing what he did, because he only gave up 1 earned run. But
no, you're right to do that, though. You're right to do that. And it's like Tanner said, the 10 hits are concerning. And what you said, like, overall, his pitch selection wasn't great. He was locating really well today with his fastball and his cutter. But basically what he did was retreated to using those 2 pitches the majority of his outing, right? He did use the changeup quite a bit. So, I mean, that's really where he was getting guys, with the changeup speed from his cutter and his fastball to his changeup. But he got 20 swings on his fastball. So guys were swinging at it. They were making contact. They were fouling it off. He only got 6 whiffs, though, for a 30% swing or whiff ratio. So I don't know, man. I mean, for the most part, the results they're not as desired. The 10 hits isn't great. Doesn't seem sustainable. However, he still held this team to 1 earned run. And I don't really know. It's kind of a weird anomaly when it comes to Eduardo Rodriguez. It's kind of been what kind of pitcher he's been in his entire short-lived career with the Diamondbacks. You watch his outing, especially if he looks like a ballerina out there on the mound, Damon, he's absolutely shoving. If he looks like he's floating out there. But I mean, this is a guy that he'll go out there, he'll be striking guys out. His stuff looks great, yet he'll still give up 3 runs, 4 runs. It's still not a very lengthy outing, and you feel like there's still a lot of room for improvement. However, I am encouraged by that. That's what I'm encouraged by, is that Eduardo Rodriguez shows these glimpses of being absolutely brilliant, and maybe he can't put it all together at times in a game. Maybe he goes out there like he did last, outing and gets a quality start, but not many strikeouts. This game, 9 strikeouts, 10 hits, 3 runs allowed, but only 1 of them earned. So I don't really know. I don't really know sometimes who Eduardo Rodriguez really is as a pitcher. I feel like, as far as the starting rotation goes, it's easy to say he's probably a little bit of the weak link, but if a guy like this doing this for you, giving you a chance to win on in a game like this, it's not a bad weak link to have in your starting rotation. Meanwhile, the bullpen is still the star for me of this team right now. I mean, Damon, how many games did I have to lock myself in your office because I didn't want the bullpen to hurt me? I had to watch the game through a window because I couldn't let Scott McGuff and I couldn't, especially not Paul Sewald. I couldn't let these men cause me sadness anymore. But now this bullpen no longer causes me sadness. But I'm sorry, did you have something on Erod before we moved on?
Yeah, I was just going to say on Erod that and this isn't necessarily like a hot take, but he's definitely the starter that I have the least amount of confidence in, in this rotation as it's currently constituted. And again, that's not necessarily even that bad of a thing, because I think Erod, and I think that we're kind of all at this place now, like maybe there was a little bit of new shiny toy, kind of thought process when we got him. And you signed him to a big contract, so you expect him to kind of be a star for, I guess, just the Diamondbacks don't really hand out contracts like that all that often to outsiders. But
sure.
He's not a bad number 5. Like if he's kind of an average pitcher, but if he's your worst starter, your rotation's in a really, really good spot.
Yes.
And I think that's the lesson that needs to be learned out of all this. But getting back to your relief pitcher discussion, Derek, that was life before J-Mart, brother. This time in history that you're talking about, looking through the window, that was before Justin Martinez was in our lives. And now there's the sky is bluer, rainbows sprouting up everywhere, unicorns exist. Justin Martinez is on my favorite baseball team. It doesn't get any better than that.
Justin Martinez is incredible. Goes out there, third of an inning pitch, strikes out the one guy. He walked one, but he strikes him out. I was more impressed by Jalen Beeks, to be honest, and I continue. I think it's because I know what Justin Martinez is. It's no surprise to me. The only surprise is like in a game like this where you bring J-Mart in just for a third of an inning. It's kind of understandable because he's had a lot of use, but, again, I don't know. I think bringing him in the 7th inning that they brought him in, it's a bit confusing. I think we all want to see J-Mart just in that closer role, but he's awesome. And no matter what you ask of him, he comes in and gets the job done. Jalen Beeks is another guy that gets the job done. Like I said, he walks the first guy in the inning, and then he strikes out the next 3. In his 1 inning of work, no runs, no hits, no anything, just the walk. And Jalen Beeks lowers his ERA on the season down to 0.77. And I can't say anything that hasn't already been said. I'm watching the Giants come back against the Phillies right now, and it kind of makes me sick. But it's bad. I don't want either of those teams to win, Damon. Honestly, I wish it could just be a tie and they both lose. But
true.
This bullpen again. AJ Puck comes in for the save. Essentially, gets 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 inning of work. They've just been incredible. The biggest problem today, Ryan Thompson. Maybe they asked too much of Ryan Thompson. I don't know. I'm always going to defend tea time, but he gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. It was fine until he wasn't. And I think that maybe, again, Ryan Thompson just strikes me as the kind of guy that whatever you ask of him, he's going to say, yes, he can do it. And he's going to say it confidently with conviction. But not necessarily the guy you want going out there for more than 1 inning necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too concerned about Ryan Thompson. Are we going to get the 2023 postseason version of Ryan Thompson ever
Probably
again? Maybe not. But that if that was the case, he'd be the highest paid relief pitcher in baseball because he was unhittable. So
he really
I
was.
think in Ryan Thompson that we have ourselves he's still a solid relief pitcher, solid late inning guy. And yeah, I mean, not a great outing today, but I'm not overly concerned about him long term. I think that there's just some struggles that people go through. But getting back to Jalen Beeks, Derek, I know you guys have probably already talked about this, and Kevin, I'd love to hear you tune in on this one. I'm just every time I hear his name and then go see him pitch, I'm just shocked that that's what he looks like. Just absolutely shocked.
I think I brought that to you, right,
You
Damon?
did. Yeah. You're the first person that brought that to my attention. Like, Jalen Beeks looks like that?
Sounds like a corner. Sounds like a cornerback.
He sounds like an NFL football player, 100%.
He really does.
Third overall, the Jacksonville Jaguars select
defensive,
Jalen
definitely.
Beeks.
Did you see that hit Jalen Beeks laid on that guy? My God. Laid him out.
Jalen Beeks lays the wood.
Jalen Beeks with his 8th sack of the season for the Bulldogs.
Big boy Beeks takes down the quarterback.
It's nuts,
I'm so on board with this. I'm so on board with this. Overall, though, the thing about the bullpen is it's never going to be perfect. You're never going to have 6 guys, 7 guys, 8 guys in the bullpen all shoving at the same time. The important thing is Shelby Miller, still can't believe I'm throwing his name in there, Jalen Beeks, Justin Martinez, AJ Puck has been solid, right? I mean, you got guys in the bullpen that you can trust. You got guys that are putting up good numbers. And then even, again, I'm not super concerned with Ryan Thompson at this point. There's going to still, there's still going to be a competition ongoing for a relief role. So there's that pressure on these guys to perform, or else you take a look at what guys like Dre Jamison or JP Fire Eisen is doing in Reno. And, again, you can't feel like you're too secure if you're a reliever that isn't doing well. Not to mention we have Kevin Ginkel coming back, we have Kendall Graveman coming back. So this is going to be, a competitive bullpen. But right now, the best part about it is having guys that you can put out there that just can get the job done in their inning of work. And again, Shelby Miller, Jalen Beeks, these guys have been such welcomed additions to this team, especially considering how late they were both added to the roster. And the Diamondbacks have won games because of them. I talked about it yesterday, Damon, but just no stress, no drama, no bullpen meltdown thing where we have this storyline and we, it's just again, today wasn't an easy game. Today wasn't an easy win. Things didn't go perfectly for the bullpen, for Ryan Thompson, but they still got the job done, and the Diamondbacks walk away with another series win, their first sweep of 2025. So it's pretty cool to have relief pitching basically taking care of business the way they are.
Derek, dare I say, ladies and gentlemen, the bullpen?
Yeah, one of my friends wanted me to use that GIF when stuff started going wrong, and I was like, not yet. Am I behind in the game? Did they blow it? Do I not know something? Because we only use that GIF when they blow the game. So
I want to flip the script, though. I want to make it a positive thing for this team just because of how good this bullpen has been.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bullpen.
Yeah. The second we do that, Derek, the second that this bullpen falls apart and Damon and Derek are to blame for
100%.
the horrific
100%.
collapses.
100%. You're not wrong about that. But, we have more about this game and the series to talk about. We're going to go over the numbers from this series, and boy, they're kind of fun. So we're going to talk about that on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, I didn't know this, but Espo got some all-pro shade concepts shades installed, and he's over here doing jokes with them. He's over here. What I'm jealous of is how shady and cool his house is and how he didn't tell me about any of this until I see it on his Instagram, right? He got roll-down patio shades that could help keep his home 20 degrees cooler, and I need some of that action in my life. If you are looking to extend your outdoor living space, make sure to contact All Pro Shade Concepts. You can get a custom fit awning. It'll take care of matching it with your HOA compliant, all that stuff. They have hundreds of designs and colors to choose from. And most importantly, summer is here. I might not be summer yet, but you know it's here. You know it's getting hot. So make sure to give them a call. They can also replace and fix most old or outdated shades and motorized awnings. And they have a BBA A+ rating with over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. So give them a call for a free estimate right now. You can call them at 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com right now to schedule your free estimate. And if you're thinking about selling your home, of course, maybe adding that shade is a great way to fix it up before you do. But make sure to call Carol Royce and her team. You need to get Carol Royce the way need to get to know Carol the way that we have gotten to know Carol, because if you did, you would trust Carol 100% to get the job done when it comes to selling your home. For the past 3 decades, Carol and her team have been selling faster and for more money than the average agent, selling over 12,000 homes. Interest rates have decreased, but they aren't expected to fall much lower. Moreover, home prices continue to increase, which will have a greater impact on affordability. So let Carol help you get the maximum value for your home. Carol and her team, 3 generations of family members on Carol's team, and she is a diehard sports fan. So not only is she one of us, but she can get you the most money for your home. She will guarantee to sell your home for 100% of market value, or she will pay you the difference herself. Call Carol Royce today at 480-776-5231 or visit Carol online at carolroyceteam.com and tell them the mayor of PHNX sent you. That's carolroyceteam.com. Terms and conditions apply. Well, Damon, we brought up Desert Financial a little while ago. They are a great way for you to get started on your home ownership journey, and they always take care of our numbers. Let's take a look at the numbers from the series presented by Desert Financial. Diamondbacks here outscored the Marlins 22-6, or 22-10, excuse me, I'm sorry. Out-hit the Marlins 9-1 when it came home runs. Diamondbacks had 3 home runs in game 1, 4 home runs in game 2, and 2 home runs today. The Marlins had just 1 Matt Mervis home run in game 2 of the series. Diamondbacks were 8 for 24 with runners in scoring position to the Marlins 5 for 30. Starting pitching ERA was ridiculous, 9.60 for the Marlins to the Diamondbacks. Little teeny tiny 1.59 starting pitching ERA. They gave up 1 earned run per outing in the series. Relief pitching ERA 4.50 for the Marlins to a push for the Diamondbacks at 4.50. So, hey, at least the Marlins didn't lose in every conceivable way in this series, Damon. But probably as thorough of a series victory as we've seen from this team in a long time. I can't even really think about too many series from 2024 that the Diamondbacks not only completed the sweep, but beat the opposition as thoroughly as they did the Marlins today, or in this one.
Yeah. And that highlighted by the fact of, I think, the runners in scoring position and the home runs that were on that in particular. Like,
oh yeah,
the Diamondbacks put the ball over the fence in this series, and I mean that's the most valuable thing you can do in baseball is hit home runs, because it puts runs on the board. Because if not, if you're just merely getting hits, you leave yourself susceptible to going 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position, which is exactly what the Marlins did today against Eduardo Rodriguez and company.
So 18. Wow.
Horrible.
Diamondbacks weren't much better at 2 for 11, but still 2 for 18. My God. Those 10 hits definitely got base runners on, but the Marlins couldn't do much with it. Now the Diamondbacks kind of look ahead at what they have next, but before we do look ahead to the Cubs, again, Diamondbacks have done a great job here over this last stretch. They did a tremendous job on the road here so far this season. I mean, they literally lost the difference of 1 game against the Nationals, basically changes the fact that the Diamondbacks have won every single series that they played on the road. And this was just a really, I guess, a real encouraging win for them, a confidence booster. Guys like Josh Naylor, who came out, were able to hit 3 home runs in the series, especially Naylor, who has, I'm not going to say struggled with power this year, but it hasn't been on display yet. We talked to him after one of the home games, and he said he really wasn't that concerned with hitting home runs at this point because they'll come. And boy, they really have. They came in a hurry, because despite the fact he came into the series with just 1, Naylor walks away with 3 more from Miami.
Yeah. Definitely with you on all that. Got nothing really to add.
No, I know. Starting pitching too, right? Starting pitching has been great for this team. Everything's just kind of been on a roll. But now they finally face, a team, and again, not to discredit any of the teams that they've won against, but a hot team in the Cubs that's been playing good baseball. Second time facing them, so a team that knows the Diamondbacks really well. And I think this series coming up this weekend is going to be a big test for the Snakes to see if they can continue not only staying as hot offensively, but if the starting pitching can continue to stay as good as it's been. Because, Eduardo Rodriguez didn't go 6 innings today. Brandon Pfaadt didn't go 6 innings yesterday. But these starting pitchers have been able to give the Diamondbacks quality starts now for a lot of games in a row, even if they just came up an out or 2 short of those quality starts.
Yeah, and gearing up for this Cubs series, you split with them obviously earlier in the year. But a similar record. It could be one of those kind of big series that you circle on the calendar, just in terms of like, you got to win series like that if you want to make the playoffs, right? Because that's the type of competition that you're going to be facing in the playoffs. But you got to beat good teams. You can't just beat up on the Marlins of the world. Even though I know the Marlins before this had a winning record, I think we all kind of know that the Marlins are not going to be a good baseball team at the end of this season. But the Diamondbacks took care of business against a team that they needed to, and now it's about taking care of business against a team that really is a series that could go either way, right? But it's a big one.
It's a big one, and the Diamondbacks, of course, have performed well in Chicago. So that's something that I can't wait to see. I got a chance to see it live last year. And, of course, we know guys like Alec Thomas tend to kind of show out in Chicago. I just think that, the Marlins, they are a decent team. The one thing that they've done well this season is come back late. And the bullpen for the Diamondbacks they weren't perfect. They weren't perfect like they have been at times this season. There were some blemishes. There was another, bad Joe Mantiply outing. However, again, they were able to keep the Marlins from coming back late like they were able to do, I believe, 3 times in a row against the Pirates to start the season. So it's a good sign that the Diamondbacks can take a lead in a game and hold a lead throughout. We've also seen them be able to come back, and they have 4 comeback victories this season themselves, which is I believe still leads Major League Baseball. So Diamondbacks just find a way to get it done. They definitely find a way to get it done. Damon.
It's a testament to this bullpen, as we talked about already, Derek, is just like you have full trust in this bullpen right now, which is just an absolutely insane thing to think about and say out loud, given the franchise that we cover.
Yeah, no, it's not. It shouldn't be accurate. It shouldn't be the case, but we definitely know. And who knows? I mean, Jalen Beeks and Shelby Miller have been 2 of the big reasons why. Like Justin Martinez, we know what he can do. We knew what a stud he was going to be, but just I can't help but think where this team would be without those 2 guys. And I still can't help but be skeptical that those guys are going to be able to do this all season long. But if they can do something similar to this, my God, it's going to be a good baseball team, right? I mean, I know we had some questions about the bullpen. I know that early on in the season we started to question the starting rotation. Pitching wins baseball games, period. And if this team can really live up to the expectations, and this bullpen can continue to live up to the hype that they've kind of set for themselves and earned, I don't see this team not making the playoffs. But clip that and keep it for when they don't, and then you can say I'm an idiot like you guys love to do. But I will allow it. I don't care. I love that you guys want to call me an idiot. I love that you guys are here in the chat. I love, most importantly, that we've already gotten people to sign up to become a diehard, but it shouldn't be hard, Damon, because it's the $36 diehard sale, and it's the cheapest that we've ever offered our diehard package at. And of course, if you don't already know, there's all sorts of wonderful things to becoming a diehard. The most important is you get a T-shirt, and that T-shirt right now could come from our brand new PHNX Diamondbacks collection that features the one and only JJ on a shirt. Also features some very cool Go Snakes merchandise as well. You get that shirt for absolutely free. That's a $34.99 value. you've already reached your $36 total as far as with that shirt. It's a push. But from that point, you get the Die Hard Draft Guide over at the Cardinals. For those of you that are NFL fans, you get ad-free access to PHNX's expert analysis, breaking news, and insider reports. You get 20% off of all PHNX events and merchandise. And most importantly, forget all that other stuff. You get access to the Diehards Only Lounge, which is the best place to be a Diamondbacks fan. That's over on Discord. And friendships are made there, Damon. It's not just friendships, it's family. Family bonding is done in the Die Hard Discord lounge. But so many other wonderful things to offer. Me and Damon are going to come say a bunch of curse words on Dbacks After Dark. And, of course, PHNX Buffs is the only place for you to come smoke with us. So make sure to join us today. The Die Hard sale is really a great sale. And we love when you guys join us on the Die Hard side during the show. I made a huge deal about Steven doing it yesterday. So make sure to let us know. We always appreciate that. And also don't miss out on the Dbacks designs. The Year of the Snake right now. Don't ever forget it. We got 4 fresh designs. You can head over to gophnx.com and hit that merch tab. And don't forget, diehards get 20% off. So if you already are a diehard, make sure to log in, get your discount, get yourself some new gear. Damon, we already talked a little. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What's there?
I just wanted to say the discount right now for the diehard membership is just like, you might, if you're interested in any of the merch, if you like any of the t-shirts, you might as well do it right now, because you're never going to find a better opportunity. It is $1 more than it is to buy one of our items of merchandise, to get that item of merchandise for free and get all the access to our membership benefits that you get for being a diehard. It's a great deal. It's basically a $1 membership plus a t-shirt, if you want to look at it that way. And it's the best time to sign up, because it's the best deal that we offer throughout the year.
Yo, also, we gave a big shout out to Steven, Mr. Banana Man. We got to give a huge shout out to Bees, who has just become a diehard as well.
Bees just became a diehard?
In the Discord, he says, I can annoy y'all all day, any day now, long overdue, I know. I think I paid for diehard membership with my Superchats alone.
Totally. He absolutely has. He absolutely has. Oh, man. See, we won over Bees. That's it. That's it, Damon. That's it. Mission accomplished. I gotta go make some bets. I'm gonna get out of here. That's all I was here for. I was just here to get Bees on as a diehard. Let's go.
That's gonna do it for us today.
Yeah, that's whatever. Follow us on Twitter. I'm gonna send me some bets to make. I want to make sure that I watch on this giant screen the Giants lose to the Phillies. We need that to happen. But and that feels gross. Now, again, Damon, I'm rooting for the Phillies. You know I don't like that, but I'll do what I have to do to watch this Diamondbacks team win. And again, the diehard membership. What is it, like 2 months of Netflix? Most of you probably haven't watched Netflix in 2 months, unless you're a WWE fan. Then we have to watch Raw on there. But definitely very much a good deal. Join us over here for sure. Looking ahead, the Diamondbacks have the Cubs at Wrigley Field, one of my favorite places to go watch baseball in the whole wide world. But let's take a look here at the pitching probables. I'm sure Damon didn't like that I said something positive about the Cubs. But
Cubs fan
over here, right? I do have that hoodie. We got Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, and Merrill Kelly going in this series. Whenever I see this, I can't help but get excited about this. Like, how can you not feel like, ERAs aside, you know, I know the results haven't been there as consistently for especially Corbin Burns and Zach Gallen. I think Merrill Kelly's ERA is still just absurdly high due to that one outing and it being such a short season so far. But again, when you look and you have Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, and Merrill Kelly going in 3 games in any series, how do you not feel confident that the Diamondbacks are going to win that series, right? Like, the starting pitching for this team is incredible. But again, Damon, the desired results aren't necessarily there right now as far as the stats, the numbers, especially for Corbin Burns.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the story of this organization for a long time, bringing in free agent pitchers and them being incredibly disappointing and you know, ruining all of our lives. But I believe that Corbin Burns is a good enough pitcher and a consistent enough pitcher where he's going to figure it out over the course of a season. The panic button, not even in my mind yet. Not even not on the table, not out of the desk drawer. The panic button is an afterthought right now. I think Corbin Burns is. I'm definitely feeling good about him figuring it out. I have way more concern about Zach Gallen and just his inconsistencies, I think. But we see what Zach Gallen can do when he's on. And it seems like he plays really well, like on these big stages. So Wrigley Field, I think,
he does.
you know, we've seen Zach go out there and shove at Wrigley Field before. Could be looking at more of the same. He did it at Yankee Stadium, right? Like, so, you know, I'm feeling like this should be a series win based off of those probable pitchers for sure, Derek.
100%. And again, this Cubs team is very, very good. They are not to be taken lightly, and they do things in a very similar fashion to the Diamondbacks. Walks, stolen bases. They play a certain brand of baseball that would probably be categorized as Snakes ball. But again, very, very big matchup. I still feel like it's a very, very big test for this Diamondbacks team. If we could see them come out and win at Wrigley Field, I think a lot of people should start believing that this team is legit. Taking a look at the Super Chats, we got one from Clayton Ginkle. I don't know if any relation to Kevin. He says growing up, he says, Derek, growing up, Kevin and I watch wrestling, and I want to make his walkout theme to be Goldberg. But what would you suggest? I don't know. Goldberg is a really well-known wrestling theme. However, I feel like any Goldberg video would require a Bret Hart video, or the song would play, and then Bret Hart would have to come up on the Chase Field board talking about Goldberg ending his career by kicking him in the head and stealing millions of dollars away from him, because that's what Bret Hart does in any interview. He doesn't even have to be asked about Bill Goldberg. Let me think. What else would I suggest? Jey Uso's theme is pretty electric right now. Yeet. So maybe Ginkle can get Yeet a Mania happening at Chase Field. I don't know. I know a lot of people want to go.
A little bit Uzi? Feeling Uzi?
He's feeling Uzi. I'm feeling Uzi. I'm always feeling Uzi. Maybe if he wants to go with a classic one. I still have yet to see someone use Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme, which is crazy to me. Imagine a reliever, especially a closer, coming out to the glass breaking, and the Stone
We were talking
Cold
about J-Mart.
Austin.
We were talking about J-Mart getting a new entrance. There it is.
Fine. There it is. So Clayton, thank you for your super chat, and tell Kevin we miss him very, very much. Steven Bananas, every day, every single day, he fires us up, and we're not nearly as electric without Kevin Ginkle. Steven
no
Bananas
shock
says,
to anybody that Kevin Ginkle is a wrestling guy, just given his post strikeout walk off the mound. Like he definitely is a showman, and that's what we love about him.
But now I have to have a party with Clayton, Kevin, and Ryan Thompson over so we can all watch SummerSlam or at least Survivor Series. But Steven Bananas, thank you for your super chat. He says, Derek, tomorrow, let's see you eat the hottest wings on air. Why? Who wants that? That's terrible. I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff just outside of this door because I am actually on Fremont Street as we speak. So I have no idea what shenanigans I'm going to get to tonight. I don't even know if I'm going to be on this show tomorrow. Damon might be hosting it alone because I might disappear in the next 24 hours. But if I don't, we'll be back tomorrow with another 2 p.m. show, regardless of if the game is over or not. So maybe it'll turn into a watch-along. I don't know. But join us at 2 p.m. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at @cap_caveman with a K. Damon is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. We are all Damon's dogs. Bark, bark. Of course, the man on the ones and twos today that I did not nearly acknowledge enough is our guy, Kevin. You can get Kevin at Kevo Posts. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks. But, of course, as always, all roads lead to @PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Did I just do that twice in a row? PHNX_Dbacks is us. PHNX_sports. Sometimes I get those two mixed up. But we love you guys. We thank you guys so much for stopping by. Diamondbacks win. They improve now to 12-7 on the year, and we cannot wait to see what they do in Chicago at Wrigley. Until then, we want you guys to have a wonderful evening. You know I'm going to. Behave yourselves. You know I'm definitely not doing that. What?
I do want to – so I want to point out the entire chat is saying that they want to see you eat the hottest wings. The whole chat. Not one person has said that they don't want to see it. There's about 15 people, it feels like, that have said we all need that in our lives. Second off, I did want to, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you about how's Vegas going so far?
Oh my God.
Yeah, give me the rundown. How much money are we up?
Let me tell you, when I walked in here, the very first thing I did was put $100 on red, and my money has now been increased. That's what I did because the Diamondbacks are red, and I did that for them. But I've been treated very well here by the fine folks at Circa, Damon. I got to admit, I was out at Stadium Swim. I advertised that quite a bit to everybody yesterday, and it was far too loud for me to be out there. The music, you guys did not want to hear that much Katy Perry over and over and over. So I came in here to the sports book where it's a little bit quieter, but the screens are bigger, and that's really cool. So I think Vegas is going to be a wild weekend. So far, what I've seen is WWE has taken over this town. I can't wait to watch WrestleMania. More importantly, I can't wait to see some of the crazy stuff, Damon, that you get to see. It's all these auxiliary shows that show up in the town. It's I'm going to watch Sabu lose his life in a barbed wire match. I'm going to watch a match called the Cluster F match. I can't say the rest of it, but it's the Cluster F. It's good. Last year it was 3.5 hours long, one match. Can't wait to see it. So I really don't know. It's mostly just the weird stuff. I've never stayed on Fremont Street before, so I don't know. I don't know what the count on White Castle hamburgers are going to be, or how many pictures I take with the guy in the big gorilla suit that Luis Gonzalez also owns one of. But chances are the over is going to be set higher than 1.5 for sure.
I think I'm over under at 3.5 times Derek is going to be whipped by a woman wearing scantily clad clothing. Fremont Street is
that's free money, Damon. That's free money.
It's a freak show. Fremont Street is a freak show. So
really
gear up for nights of just blaring music outside of your hotel window. Yeah. It's the best.
Follow me on Twitter for more exciting things that are going to happen here. Most likely going to end up at the Nerd, and the Nerd gets really weird. But I've given out way too many free ads on this episode. I'm sure Max is losing his mind. But again, appreciate you guys. Yeah, we don't care. We don't care about Max and his stupid feelings. We don't care about that around here. We care about you guys. And again, thank you so much for your time. I know it is your most precious commodity. So thank you for spending it with me, Damon, and Kevin. We will see you back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. Make sure to join us then. Until then, again, like I said earlier, have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful night. I know it's not the weekend yet. Have a wonderful night. I will not behave myself. You guys probably should. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when your offense creates chaos.
We all silly like the mayor.